Hey, what's up, guys? Um, something um I had just found out today, and I couldn't help but make a video about this because I was utterly just completely appalled when I found this out. It happened 2 days ago, but I just can't believe that this has transpired, and I can't believe that this has happened, and I just wanted to make a video and address this. Of course, this relates to something involving the WWE. And I couldn't help but address the recent suspension I've heard of Roman Reigns. I can't believe that Roman Reigns had got suspended, has now suspended for 30 days because of him violating the well witness policy. It was announced on Tuesday, but I fortunately had just found out today. And I just can't believe that Roman Reigns, after this has just happened to so many superstars, we get in trouble for the same thing. And in the way it kind of makes you a little bit thinking, it kind of makes you wonder a little bit. It kind of makes your mind spin a little bit. Because when I thought about it, and I was reading about, the reason, I was reading this article, and it said that apparently they had already knew that Roman Reigns had violated this policy before Money in the Bank, which is why he dropped the belt to Seth Rollins. Well, it all makes sense to me, because for the longest I thought, no, it all makes sense to me when you think about it, because I just couldn't see Roman Reigns dropping the belt that early. Because if you think about it, Roman Reigns had technically only been the WWE World Heavyweight Champion for 2 months. And for him to lose the title to Seth Rollins clean, when I first seen that, something just seemed really suspicious about that. It just didn't seem like, the WWE would be so quick to have Roman Reigns drop the belt to Seth Rollins, or to anybody for that matter. And for Seth Rollins to make his return at Extreme Rules and then to win the title in his first pay-per-view match of the year against Roman Reigns, it's just something didn't seem right about that. I just couldn't see Roman Reigns losing so quickly, and I knew something was weird and awkward when I saw that. Not just the fact that he won, but the fact that he pinned him clean 1, 2, 3. Something just didn't seem right. And then all of a sudden, I hear that Roman Reigns has been suspended for 30 days because he violated the well witness policy. Wow, Roman, look what you have done. You have not only screwed up the triple threat match that everyone has been waiting to see, because time and time again, this is a dream match that people have always talked about seeing. For the longest amount of time, everyone has always wanted to see the Shield face each other in a triple threat match. We've seen Dean Ambrose battle Seth Rollins in multiple occasions, and each time they battled each other, they've had classic matches. We've seen Roman Reigns go against Dean Ambrose in singles competition, and we know how that turned out. We've seen, and now we just saw Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. But what we've never seen is all three of them against each other in a triple threat match. We've seen a fatal four-way last year that involved Randy Orton, where the three of them was in it at Payback. But we've never seen the three of them just face each other in the triple threat match. And the fact that Roman Reigns has got himself pulled out of the event, you just have to start and wonder. It makes you wonder the direction that WWE is going to go. It makes you wonder exactly how they're going to have to explain the Roman Reigns, the reason to why Roman Reigns isn't on television. Because as we know, WWE always tries to keep this stuff secretive, and they would never mention this stuff to the crowd. This is just stuff that you have to find out on social media. So how exactly is Roman Reigns going to be written off the script? Because to me, if they knew, this is the dumb thing that I don't understand, it makes me sick. If they knew that Roman Reigns had already violated the well witness policy, Why in the world would they have him face Seth Rollins in the main event on Raw and then have them both get counted out to set up a triple threat match at Battleground if they already knew that Roman Reigns had already violated the policy? Why not just why not just have Seth Rollins defeat Roman Reigns again on Raw so it could just be Seth Rollins against Dean Ambrose? Because that would have made a lot more sense if they had already knew what Roman Reigns had done. It just makes no sense to me that they would do that and they already knew Roman Reigns had violated the policy. Roman Reigns, this is the first time for him. I don't know what he was doing or thinking at the time that he did it. I don't know what is going on with him. He apologized to the social media and Twitter and everything like that. But that's just something that you're gonna have to live with, man. And I never would have thought that Roman Reigns would do such a thing. But we've seen plenty of superstars get in trouble for this. Randy Orton nearly almost could have lost his job because he had 2 violations. And from what I heard, he almost nearly had a 3rd violation. And it's just crazy when I think about it because, all these other superstars that violated the well-witness policy, they found the way to write them off television, to have an excuse for them not to be on television. Take R-Truth, for example. When Awesome Truth was together, he had violated the well-witness policy. But what did they do? They had The Miz turn on him the night after Survivor Series. That was their way of taking him off television. They didn't do this with other people. They didn't do this with, that was their way of taking him off television. And then let's take Randy Orton, for example. In 2006, that was Randy Orton's first time violating the well-witness policy. What was their way of getting Randy Orton off television? Simple. They put him in a match against Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle had supposedly nearly broke Randy Orton's leg because he put him in an ankle lock and he would not let go. So that was their way of taking Randy Orton off television. So you just gotta start to wonder, why would they do this? Why would they make this match on Raw that we seen on Raw when they already knew about this incident with Roman Reigns? Because with R-Truth and with Randy Orton that I just mentioned, they knew about it as well. And this was their way of taking them off television because of what they had done. But for Roman Reigns, they decided, let's put him in a main event against Seth Rollins instead of them just having Seth Rollins beat him again like he had done at Money in the Bank. No. They decided to have them both get counted out and then set up a triple threat match already knowing what Roman Reigns had done. That to me just makes absolutely no sense. And I just cannot believe, what has transpired, because this just changes a lot. It changes a lot, and it just lets you know you really got to watch out for every superstar. You really do. Because you never know who's going to get caught for this. Rey Mysterio has gotten it when he was in the company. He got in trouble twice for the well-witness policy. Rey Mysterio, was in trouble 2 times for the well-witness policy. He got in trouble twice. As we know, when Jeff Hardy was in the WWE, he had gotten in trouble for the well-witness policy twice in his career. Once was in 2003. And the other time, I believe, was in 2008, which is actually why he didn't even wrestle WrestleMania 24, which is why he wasn't even at the ladder match. And then, so we've seen this happen. Sorry, guys. Hold up for a minute. Hold on, guys, for 1 second. Hey, guys, sorry about that. My eyes was burning me and I couldn't really see on the camera. But we've seen, this happen to multiple superstars, and we've seen how WWE have came up with creative ways to get them off television so that it wouldn't be obvious, so that that could be the reason, the storyline reason as to why they were gone off television for so long. But with Roman Reigns, it just makes no sense to me. Why would they make them both get counted out if they had already known this? If they had already known what Roman Reigns had done, why not just have Seth Rollins win And then after that, Roman Reigns just disappears from the scene because of what he did. And then he comes back after 30 days. I mean, it just makes no sense to me. But I just have to say that I'm utterly disgusted that such a thing would take place at such a terrible time, because you got the draft that's coming up on July 19th. I mean, you got all of this stuff that's happening so quickly. And for Roman Reigns to get in trouble at this point in time is one of the worst scenarios ever. It's not like he's injured, so you can't use that excuse. No, he actually got in trouble for something that a lot of wrestlers have gotten in trouble for. The likes of Rey Mysterio, the likes of Jeff Hardy, the likes of Randy Orton, R-Truth. A lot of wrestlers have gotten in trouble for this because they violated the well-witness policy. And this is Roman Reigns' first time doing it. I just cannot believe what this has caused. I can't believe what this has transpired. His suspension is really going to change the landscape of the direction that WWE goes now. Now, like I said, at first, the first thought I had in my head when Roman Reigns lost the title was two things. First, I thought, oh, maybe this is just because Vince, he lost hope for Roman Reigns. Maybe this is because Vince, because I've been hearing recent things about him and Triple H going back and forth over having, Roman Reigns be the face of the company, over actually having Roman Reigns have that prestige to hold the title for a long time and be the man and the face of the company. But, Vince McMahon was starting to have doubts about Roman Reigns. He was starting to have doubts about him. He was starting to actually feel a little bit different, starting to feel that, maybe Roman Reigns isn't the man to take over the company. Maybe he isn't the next guy to be the next big thing or whatever of that sort. So I thought that could have been a reason to why they had Seth Rollins win the belt from Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank, because I had heard, on recent videos and recent interviews and stuff that, they were thinking about taking the belt off Roman Reigns early. But then to see this, but to see him, but then to find out that just Tuesday he was suspended for 30 days. Literally the day after, basically the night after Monday Night Raw, he gets suspended for 30 days for violating the well-witness policy. It started to make sense to me of the reason as to why he lost at Money in the Bank. And then, like I said, when I looked it up and when I was reading an article, it said that apparently they had already knew about this before Money in the Bank. This is why he dropped the belt to Seth Rollins. So I was like, you know what? This all makes sense, because I just can't see. I could see Seth Rollins returning early and winning on the pay-per-view, but I couldn't see him getting the title back so quickly on the same night that he returns. Now, of course, we all know what happened afterwards. Dean Ambrose cashed in and he became the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We know that happened, but just the matter of Seth Rollins for that one moment that he was champion, for him to win the title at such an early stage is just something that I could not see taking place. See, I thought that Roman Reigns was going to retain, and he didn't. And I just found that completely crazy. And so, like I said, I cannot believe what has happened. Roman Reigns goes on the list upon several wrestlers that have gotten in trouble for this. But like I said before, I don't know why they didn't find a way to get Roman Reigns off television. Because they have done it with the likes of Randy Orton. Back in 2006, they did it with him. They found a way to get R-Truth off television. But you're telling me you can't find a way to get Roman Reigns off television. I mean, that's BS to me. I can't believe, you can't tell me that you can't find a way to get this man off television. When you put him in this ridiculous match with Seth Rollins, have them both get counted out after Roman Reigns spears with Seth Rollins, then they both can't get up, and they both get counted out to set up a triple threat match, because, of course, Dean Ambrose, the lunatic and everything, was like he was going to do it, face both of them. And this was, when we already knew this was going to happen, I didn't even have to watch Raw to know that this was just going to be a build-up to a triple threat match. A match that people have wanted to see ever since pretty much the Shield has broken up. People have wanted to see this. And, for this to not happen now, you got to start to wonder exactly how they're going to do the main event. You got to start to wonder what's going to happen moving forward. If Roman Reigns is even going to be mentioned. You know, these are things you have to start to wonder. And so there's just a lot. There's just a lot that has transpired. And it's absolutely crazy. And I just have to say that I cannot believe that Roman Reigns, at this point in his career, at such an early stage, and it's not like he's the first person to do this, because when Randy Orton got in trouble, his very first time, he was only 26, but at such an early stage, would do something that he knows will get him in trouble because he's seen other wrestlers do it and he's seen them get in trouble, but yet he's going to do it. That just makes me sick. It makes me absolutely sick that Roman Reigns would do this especially at a time like this. Not saying I'm disgusted of Roman Reigns, but I just cannot believe what he has done and what it has done towards the direction that WWE is going to go and towards the future planning that they're going to make. So that's all I really got to say about this incident of Roman Reigns' suspension with WWE. I cannot believe what happened, and I'm absolutely completely applaud when I found out that this took place on Tuesday. If you like this video, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys another day. Peace.